But Reisner suspects a trick. He continues tracking the enemy fighters. Sure enough, the MiGs turn back. They're heading for the bombers. The MiGs are initiating one of the Korean War's most remarkable encounters. Although at maximum range, the Saber's radar-ranging gun sight finds the target with deadly efficiency.
One of the technological advantages that the F-86...
The MiG initiates violent evasive action in an attempt to get Reisner off his tail. He noses over into a dive, rolls inverted, then rolls again. The MiG pilot demonstrates superb mastery of his machine. He will put Reisner's flying skills to the ultimate test. This is a special breed of aviator. The aircraft rolls inverted and dives, pulling out in the opposite direction.
He was so low, and I was sure he wasn't going to make it, and I said to my wingman, "This is going to be the easiest kill I ever had." Well, it turned out this guy made it.
There should have been a fireball, but the MiG recovers miraculously into a dry riverbed. Reisner watches in disbelief as the MiG twists and turns right on the deck.
He was so close to the ground, he kicked rocks and debris up. I, meanwhile, had managed to get in behind him. I got dents all over my airplane where he knocked rocks, blew rocks up off of the riverbed. Well, from there on, it was a real fight. This guy was some pilot.
Reisner can barely keep the stick in his hands as he's thumped hard by the MiG's jet wash. The MiG flies like a banshee. He chops power, pops out his speed brakes. The MiG is trying to force the Sabre to overshoot, which will expose Reisner to the MiG's cannon. Reisner counters by rolling his jet over the MiG, bleeding off airspeed while keeping on his adversary's 6 o'clock. Then, the MiG firewalls the throttle and accelerates away in a hard turn, pulling maximum G.
He took me on a mad race, and I'd get in a shot at him every once in a while. We were tenacious as a bulldog. We just didn't want to turn him loose.
The MiG reverses his turn. Another burst from Reisner. Parts of the tail fly off. The fuselage begins to smoke. Reisner can't believe his eyes. The MiG goes inverted, pushes vertically up the side of a mountain and over the top.
When that happens, you're putting negative G's on your body. Your eyeballs pop out about this far. The blood rushes to your head, you can get a red out. I wouldn't even attempt it. I have to do a half roll and pull down.
Down again in the riverbed. The MiG chops power. Reisner reacts instinctively to slow the MiG.
I coasted right up beside him, wingtip to wingtip. I looked into his cockpit. He looked into my cockpit. He raised his fist and shook it at me, and I thought, man, this is like the movies.
But it's not a movie. The MiG suddenly banks to the right. Reisner is snapped back to the moment. Black puffs of anti-aircraft fire fill the sky. The Honcho has led them directly over a Chinese airbase.
He was so low, he'd blowing dust off the runway. He must have called ahead and said, "Shoot these guys off of my tail." My wingman's name was Joe Logan. Then he said, "Hey, lead, they're shooting at us." Well, they certainly were, and the guns were shooting from everywhere, and black explosions all around us. But it didn't concern me enough to turn him loose, I'll guarantee. I was behind him, and that's where I was going to stay, and I did.
Reisner can't drop low enough for a clean shot. The MiG runs out of options, pulls up sharply into a climbing turn.
When he ran out of runway and he pulled up, I was able to get an angle off, which I needed. I hit him heavy.
The MiG's wing is shredded by the Saber's guns. His only chance for survival is to land immediately, forcing or spiking the jet onto the ground, and hope for the best. Reisner has another idea.
He never put his gear down. He made a 180-degree turn, and when he was headed back down, it looked like he was going to land beside the runway, not on the runway, in the grass. Well, I poured all my ammunition into him at that time. Every .50 caliber I had was chattering. He never completely leveled off.
The MiG slams into the ground and explodes. Hot shards of burning metal and debris slice through a line of parked MiGs. Reisner's wingman exults at the fiery spectacle.
And old Joe Logan was so enthusiastic, he said, "Hey, Lead, you just destroyed their Air Force." What a wonderful sight.
The whole engagement has lasted some 5 minutes. The MiG is destroyed, but the mission is far from over.